this is Melanie for Pardesi Reviews, and I'm here to do a film review of Nerkonda Paarvai, starring Ajith. If you're new to Pardesi Reviews, I do film reviews and trailer reactions to Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, Hindi, and sometimes Kannada films. This film is a remake of the 2016 Amitabh Bachchan film Pink, and that one starred Taapsee Pannu and one of her first big Hindi films. They then rematched together and made a film Badla, where Amitabh again plays a lawyer. That one has just come on Netflix if you haven't seen that. Okay, I have to say first, I did not see Pink, but I heard a lot about it. So I kind of get the gist of what the plot was going to be. But this is not going to be a video where I compare the two films because I have not seen the Amitabh Bachchan. But everyone has seen this scene when he says, "Are you a virgin? Are you a virgin?" So like I knew some of those courtroom scenes that were coming. I thought it was really interesting that Ajith, who's been doing so many action films and everything, was taking on a role like this, a little bit more, I don't know if mature is the right word, but then I saw the trailer and I'm like, oh boy, they threw an action scene in, because I don't think that Amitabh dispatched 20 guys by himself. Could be wrong. But I don't think they had a huge action scene like that. So I think they integrated the action scene in well, from what I'm gathering of the different differences in the plots. I don't think that was a bad addition. If you're not familiar with kind of the general story, since Pink has been out for a long time, I don't know if I'm giving spoilers, but you have something has happened. At the opening scenes, you see 3 young men in a car, one is bleeding, and then you see 3 young women arrive home, and they're obviously really distressed. So you assume somehow these two things are linked together, but you don't actually see what happens until the very end credits. And I believe that is the same in Pink. So all you know about what actually happened that created the blood, that created these women being so distraught, you're just hearing the different accounts, and everybody has a different version of the story. These women are threatened, whatever, and then it comes down to a court case. So Ajith is playing the same role that Amitabh did, being their lawyer. And the men's case is that these girls are loose women, they're prostitutes, and, just kind of they got what they deserved kind of attitude. And Ajith, it's the same, we saw it in Amitabh's. No means no. It doesn't matter what. Consent is all. So I admire Ajith for getting this film made, taking on this role, because I think he's such a role model. Him saying these words about consent, really laying it out there, I think is a really important message. I was looking at the Wikipedia and information about this film, and the original Pink is, in fact, I remember there was sort of a Hollywood film sort of like this, where there was a rape case, and the woman had been drinking and, was in a bar, and just some really harsh courtroom scenes where she's being questioned about her character and whatever, and then the message being put across, it doesn't matter what her character was, this shouldn't have happened to anyone. That film was The Accused, starring Jodie Foster, and she won an Academy Award for this. This is back in 1988. I walked out with 2 guys who had been in the theater with me, and I said, "What did you think?" They enjoyed the film, and they said, "It's different here," meaning America, than it is in India. In America, I don't want to say like everything's perfect here, but I do think there's been, through a lot of pop culture, there's been an awareness of, date rape wasn't a thing. And now I mean, I have conversations. I have 3 sons. I have one son that's going away to college next week. I have conversations with my son about consent, about, no means no, all of that kind of stuff. And I feel like a lot of parents are very aware of that. And those weren't the messages that boys got when I was growing up. We just had Supreme Court nomination hearings. And there was a woman. So, I mean, my view is that we have a Supreme Court justice now who was a rapist. So she came, when she saw Brett Kavanaugh was being nominated, she wanted to remain anonymous, but they forced her to testify in public. And she described how when she was in high school, he, with another guy in the room, held her down, was drunk, held her down, covered her mouth. She thought she was going to suffocate. He was so drunk he fell off the bed, and that's how she escaped. That was again, in the 80s. So attitudes, all those years ago. It's very different now with the Me Too movement and all that. I know there's a Me Too movement in India as well. But I still think, a film like this where it just lays it out there. No means no. It doesn't matter if the girl was drinking. It doesn't matter if she was a virgin when you took her out to dinner. All of those things, just having it stated is so important. Now, let's just talk about performance. I think another thing, I don't know completely about how they dealt with Amitabh Bachchan's wife in the film, but I gathered from the people that I was talking to who had also seen Pink that, the Vidya Balan part, there's a song, there's a whole sequence of Vidya Balan playing Ajith's wife in a flashback, and I think they had great chemistry together. I loved watching them on screen, but maybe it was a bit much. But if you're going to ask Vidya Balan in your film, I don't think you can make it a 30-second cameo, I guess. And I also saw there was an opening song because Shraddha Srinath's character is a dancer, for it looked like Kalki Kokla was the singer. I didn't stay to see all the end credits were in Tamil, so I don't know. Anyway, I thought the performances were particularly good. Ajith gave his fans what they wanted, and having these action scenes, there's a great bike scene and all of that. So he has those moments, but to me, where he really shone was the courtroom. He's going through his own personal struggles. I don't want to spoil what all those were, but he differentiated, how can I don't know how to describe this without... He's having issues in the courtroom. Let's just put it this way. He's not at the top of his game in certain scenes. And then he is totally in command of the courtroom. And that was, to me, even more satisfying than watching him bash all those bad guys' heads. To see him just dominate the courtroom and turn the tide of the case in such a dramatic way, that was what was really exciting and impactful. I thought Shraddha Srinath did a really good job. As there's 3 women involved, but she was amazing. She was really good. All 3 women were quite good. I thought it was interesting. One of the women, Andrea Tariang, reprised her role from Pink, so she did the same role again. And Abhirami Venkatachalam, she did a very good job as a character named Fatima. All 3 women had you can imagine, very emotional scenes, and they really, really good acting. I thought this was a really good film, definitely worth a watch. Love to hear what you thought about seeing the film and seeing Ajith in this different kind of a role. I think they did a good job, from what I'm gathering, what the Hindi film was like, adapting it for Tamil audiences. I know there was guys in my theater that were whooping and hollering during the action scenes, but also a couple of the zinger lines that Ajith got off in the courtroom also got a little bit of a whoop. So he really slayed in both arenas. Really impactful film, and exciting to see something like this from Ajith. Follow me on Twitter at PardeziYT. Subscribe here to Pardesi Reviews. And if you hit the bell when you subscribe, you'll never miss another film review or trailer reaction.